This is a budget Karambit, the Wartech Warmonger. Blade length, 2.5 inches. Comes in many colors. That is the desert camo pattern. And this review is part of my series on extreme budget Karambits. A $5.75 Karambit. Well, first off, I gotta say, if you're gonna sell something that cheap, it is a good move to call it the Wartech Warmonger or some other nuclear annihilation zombie Karambit. And there you see the clip side of the Karambit, one position pocket clip. All right, and you see it's mandatory combo edge, and it has a flipper as well as thumb studs as your openers. There's a close-up of the blade itself. Now, all of these cheap Karambits are going to be like stainless surgical steel, all right? Low quality steel. Do I have to say it? All right, I'll say it. For a knife like this, it's just all about how pointed the tip is. The Karambit, based after a tiger's claw, all right? So it's mainly, it's ripping with the tip is the action of a Karambit. It's tip cutting, tip slashing, and so forth, or draw cuts, meaning drawing it to you like you would cut with a box cutter. All right, so what I'm saying is that basically the steel doesn't really matter for that kind of thing. It matters much more for a heavy chopping survival knife, etc. Or for an expensive collectible knife, you would want the best steel just because it garners a higher price. But yeah, these are all going to be surgical steel, so just don't even worry about the steel. All right, a close-up of the handle. Aluminum scales. I like the color scheme. Open pillar construction. What is this? So you can clip it onto your belt. All right, so that's pretty cool. Now I have some bad news about these liners. These liners are pretty flimsy. You can easily just flex them just by pressing with your hand. Yeah, so all in all, definitely not the best liners. You know, I would give those a C or a B minus as far as just the solidness or lack of solidness of the handle. As far as the sizing of this, I have a medium-sized hand. I know it might look big from the camera, but it's medium-sized, all right? And, you know, this is how it fits medium-size. The thing is, the index flipper, you know, the tang extension, it's uncomfortable, all right? It's kind of poking in my finger that way, and in traditional grip, again, it's poking into me that way, right? So it's for medium-sized hands, but definitely got to take points off for the lack of ergonomics of that. All right, as far as deployment, well, it's good now. All right, there's the lockup. This, I basically had to take this apart in order to get it to work, because when I first got it, the deployment was crap and the lockup was crap. And since I was taking it apart anyway, I removed the assisted function. All right, and if you're wondering how the assist works, you know, this bent springy wire was like in the handle. All right, and the assist, it didn't work anyway. I mean, it basically sucked, okay? It was non-functional. So I got rid of it, and I had to tinker around with the pivot and with the lock to get it to where it would reliably lock. All right, and now it does. All right, so, you know, the flipper basically sucked and the action was bad, so I removed it. And now, after a little readjustment, it does open easily. It locks up securely, right? And even if I can press on it, you know, quite a bit, and the lock will not fail. So at least that is a good thing. But it required some tinkering to even make it like that. Okay, so in summation, the liners are flimsy. The ergonomics of that index flipper, not good. The flipping action and deployment and lockup were very sketchy. and required me to take the knife apart and readjust everything in order to make it reliable. And the assist, it didn't really work right, and the only thing good about the assist was that it was fairly easy to remove it. Alright, so there you go. Sorry Wartech, but it just didn't do very well. If you want to know if it's usable at all, it's like just on the very bottom rung of what could maybe be usable as kind of like light utility or a trainer or just like the ultimate last ditch emergency, but only if you had to. But yes, even for this price point, there's stuff at the same price that's noticeably better. All right, so that's my final verdict, an honest verdict on this knife, just my opinion. Stay tuned for many more reviews. I'm out.